Alright, so get this. There's a woman out there claiming she's not just some surrogate for Harry and Meghan. She says she's the biological mother of their #woe kids, Archie and Lyot. Not a hired womb, not a behind-the-scenes helper. She's saying those are her children, her eggs, her body, her births. To be in the line of succession, they have to be born by Meghan Markle. It has to be Prince Harry's child. They can't use a surrogate. And so people are saying we deserve to know if these child are #N are in the line of success ion. And this isn't just random tabloid gossip either. She's got names, receipts, signed NDAs, hospital paperwork, and even financial transaction. Her identity still under wraps publicly, but she's going by DL. And if she's telling the truth, this could be the biggest royal deception in decades, maybe ever. So, are you saying that is 2 weeks older? And so, I thought maybe that would allow time to wean the baby away from a birth mother if a surrogate was used. It would make sense, but instead of lying to the world, why not to say we want a baby? We're having a baby and we're using a surrogate. This isn't just about celebrity drama. It's about the very structure of the British monarchy. If the kids weren't born of Meghan, and especially if this wasn't disclosed properly, it calls into question everything from royal titles to the actual line of succession. You know how carefully the royals guard lineage. Birth legitimacy isn't just tradition, it's the whole system. So, imagine the mess if it turns out Meghan never gave birth at all and DL can prove she did. Prince Harry actually writes about this dance in Spare, but I don't think he ever addresses the rumors of whether Archie and Lily were born but came from Meghan Markle's womb. Now, here's where things get even messier. DL says she was promised 2 things, privacy and compensation. That's standard in hush-hush deals like these. But she CL aims neat her was honored. Not only did they allegedly ghost her, but she says her existence was deliberately erased from the story. She went along with the plan, trusted that the arrangement would stay buried, but instead she was wiped from the narrative like she never existed. No thanks, no acknowledgement, silence. And now she's had enough. She's coming out swinging. She's got documents, she says, signed NDAs from late 2018, hospital admission records from Colorado, even digital records linking her to Meghan and Harry's #M. And the second #ND she drew those receipts publicly, the conversation shifts from speculation to reality. That's why royal insiders are panicking. Quiet whispers about fake pregnancies and odd baby bumps have been floating around for years, but they've always been dismissed as conspiracy nonsense. Videos showing Meghan's stomach folding weirdly when she bent down, are ushed off as bad angles, or Fabry CTR #X. But now, people are revisiting all of that with fresh eyes. See, this isn't a new theory. There have been suspicions ever since Archie's birth. The lack of a traditional hospital photo op, the confusing announcements, the secrecy, it all raised eyebrows, and back then, everyone just assumed it was Meghan being private. But if DL's story holds weight, then it was #NT just privacy. It was a cover-up, a deliberate attempt to hide the true origin of those children. And not for their safety, but to protect a carefully curated public image. What's wild is how Harry fits into all of this. For years, the public painted him as the wounded soul, the guy trying to escape the trauma of royal life and protect his family. But what if he wasn't just an innocent player? What if he helped stage the whole thing? That's what so many insiders are now suggesting. If #RE knew about the surrogate, and still stood on camera pretending everything was normal, rubbing Meghan's belly for the cameras, beaming about becoming a dad, then he was just lying by omission. He was part of the act. And it's not just Harry and Meghan's reputations at risk. This has ripple effects. Hit Buckingham Palace itself. If the kids aren't biologically Meghan's and no formal surrogacy was disclosed, it's not just a PR disaster, it's a constitutional crisis. Because royal lineage isn't just ceremonial. I#T has legal implications. Their children's places in the line of succession, their titles, even how they are recognized by the crown, all of that could be invalidated. And so far, total silence. No statement from the Sussex camp. No comment from the palace. Just an eerie stillness, which honestly only makes everything look worse. DL isn't just making vague claims. She's naming dates, #tagging paperwork, and describing details only some #NEI intimately involved would know. According to her, she was approached through an intermediary connected to a private California clinic that has long dealt with high-profile surrogacy arrangements. The setup was clean, quiet, and deliberately anonymous. She was told she'd be compensated generously, her identity protected forever, and the entire agreement handled off the books. But the moment the babies were born, everything changed. Communica #Tyon stopped, payments were halted, and what was supposed to be a protected arrangement turned into silence and erasure. She's now reportedly working with a legal team and preparing a full release of her documentation that includes timestamps, emails, contracts, and most controversially, photos from inside the hospital during what she says was Archie's birth. And here's where things take a dramatic turn. According to DL, she wasn't just asked to #carry the children. She was #asked to stay completely out of the picture, even legally. No name on the birth certificate, no documentation tying her to the children. She says she was told it was essential for optics. That optics game is something the Sussexes have always played with precision. From the Oprah interview to see #awfully staged photos and public letters, they've curated a brand around privacy, truth, and breaking free from outdated royal tradition. But DL's story flips that image upside down. If true, it suggests Harry and Meghan were actively constructing a lie, not just shielding their children from the spotlight, but rewriting #ing the narrative entirely. And it's not just the public that's shocked. People close to the royal institution are reportedly scrambling. Lawyers, advisors, even constitutional experts have started privately discuss #sing the potential fallout. Because here's the uncomfortable truth. If Archie and Lily weren't born of Meghan, and no legal surrogacy paperwork was submitted to the UK government, then those children may not qualify for royal titles or succession under existing rules. The British monarchy has specific guidelines about lineage, and any attempt to bypass those, especially secretly, could be seen as deception on a royal scale. Add to that the birth certificate drama. Remember when the media discovered that Meghan's full name was quietly removed from Archie's certificate and replaced with just her royal title? Back then, people chalked it up to stylistic preference or royal formatting. But in light of DL's claims, some legal analysts now believe it may have been a straight #JIC move to distance Meghan's legal identity from the official birth record. If DL is the biological mother, that edit might have been more than cosmetic. It might have been designed to avoid any legal flags. Meanwhile, insiders say Harry's mental state is deteriorating fast. People close to the couple describe him as restless, paranoid, and emotionally overwhelmed. He's reportedly been withdrawing from public life, not just because of stress, but out of fear that the truth is spiraling beyond his control. Reens claim he's losing sleep, obsessively monitoring media coverage, and clashing with Meghan behind closed doors about how to handle the growing pressure. As for Meghan, she's gone full ghost. No appearances, no public comments, no online activity. And for someone who's made a career out of media control and presence, her sudden vanishing act is being seen by Ma as a red flag. Some say she's laying low to avoid legal exposure. Others think she #s regrouping, planning her next move carefully. But one thing's clear. This SIL hashtag ends isn't strategic anymore. It feels like surrender. Lawyers close to the monarchy are reportedly working overtime, not just drafting potential responses, but preparing #G for a worst-case scenario. What happens if DL's claims are #I'd in court, or through investigative reporting? The #Alice has faced scandal before, but nothing #G quite like this. If it's proven that a surrogate gave birth to Archie and Elizabeth without proper disclosure, it would create a constitutional grey area the monarchy has never dealt with. Titles, succession rights, even royal benefits could come into question, and in the eyes of traditionalists, it could be viewed as an outright betrayal of royal protocol. Royal lineage is not symbolic. It's the foundation of monarchy. It's the reason people still bow, still fund the institution, still care who is a crown. If #at lineage turns out to be fabricated, it's not just a family issue. It becomes a matter of national identity and constitutional law. Some experts argue that this might even trigger debates in Parliament, with some calling for a review of how succession laws apply in an era of fertility treatments, surrogacy and privacy contracts. The media is circling. Every day brings a new headline, another leak, a fresh twist. Old footage is being reanalyzed frame by frame. Interviews are being dissected. That moment Meghan sat, with Oprah hand in hand with Harry talking about motherhood. It's now being replayed with growing skepticism. Did they know? Were they both acting? Were those tears genuine? Or were they part of a larger performance? The public trust they once held, especially among younger, more progressive audiences, is eroding fast. Hollywood, too, is reportedly distancing itself. People who once championed the Sussexes, producers, agents, activists, are going quiet. The very media machine that helped elevate them is now sharpening its claws. And sources say some of their closest allies are worried about being pulled into the narrative. WHO knew what and when. Who helped cover things up? If Meghan and Harry leveraged surrogacy, without transparency, and involved third parties in the secrecy, it could become a legal liability for others, too. But human toll is arguably the most visible part of all this. Harry, once seen as the charming, rebellious prince who broke free from royal chains, is now being portrayed as either deeply complicit or hopelessly manipulated. And Meghan, the woman who redefined what a modern duchess could look like, is facing a total credibility collapse. For years, she framed herself as a victim of palace politics and racism. But now, critics are accusing her of creating her own palace of lies. Then there's Del, the woman at the center of it all. She's gone from anonymous surrogate to global figure overnight, and while some question her motives, others are praising her bravery. If her aims are true, she didn't just carry 2 children. She carried a secret that's now threatened to collapse a royal narrative. She says all she ever wanted was to be respected, compensated, and left alone. But the silence, the betrayal, the erasure, it pushed her to speak. And in doing so, she may have triggered the biggest reckoning the British monarchy has seen in a century. This isn't just about 2 kids, or a birth certificate. It's about power, image, and the lengths people will go to protect a story. Whether DL is ultimately proven right or wrong, the damage is already done. The cracks in the Sussex fairy tale are showing. The public, once enchanted, now wants the truth. And the royals on both sides of the Atlantic are watching